All right. Hey guys, welcome back to the Underground. This is Interactive Chat Volume 41. It's getting on up there. This is, of course, our weekly, every single week, rain or shine solo man podcast where we talk about everything PSVR2, all news, reviews, discussions, updates, incoming updates, new releases coming, everything, man. So lots and lots going on tonight. Gonna be honest with you, I'm probably gonna keep tonight's show a little shorter. I'm gonna try to, and that never actually happens, but I'd like to keep it a little shorter because, quite frankly, I've got a lot of No Man's Sky to get back into. That's right. Ever since this update, it has consumed my life, and I'm still, of course, working on a bunch of guides and things for people. Give me time to cook, and I will have it for you, I promise. I know it's taken a while, but No Man's Sky is a big game, and videos take a long time to edit. So I'm working on, I actually had almost a guide. I was going to post just like a regular walkthrough guide for you guys where it's basically a walkthrough with commentary through the whole beginning. And unfortunately, when I exported the 2-hour file, 1.5 hour file, it got corrupted and it took 5 hours to render. So lovely technology broken. But I might try it again and try to re-upload it for you guys just to have something to hold you over in the meantime. And then while I work on these more polished, short form videos. So can't wait to share that with you. I'm so glad everyone's been enjoying No Man's Sky. I'm not done talking about No Man's Sky tonight. But there's a lot going on, man. Today we're going to be reviewing Crossfire Sierra Squad, which came out earlier this week. Spoiler alert, it's pretty awesome, but we'll get into that more later. There's the first new game of November has been announced, which we'll get into. A big update happened to a game today. Lots of other little bitty things, new announcements. So let's go ahead and get through some of that. But before, let me just say, man, before we get into the announcements, we are, of course, going to kick off with some No Man's Sky here. We got to, because, oh my God, you guys, this update, man, this update is absolutely nuts. And, you know, I think the biggest thing about it, let me go ahead and get the echoes thing. The big surprise to me with this No Man's Sky update has honestly been, it's added this layer of realism. Now, No Man's Sky has always looked a little bit on the cartoony side, a little bit, and that does take away from a little bit of the immersion and things like that. And I think the biggest surprise to me is how it has added this layer of realism to No Man's Sky, where, like, I mean, it's so funny. There's all these, well, not anymore. It's kind of died down, but there's been all this talk about the metaverse and, you know, doing it. And this game basically shits all over anybody else's metaverse. Of course, not completely. There's of course some other good stuff out there, but that's what this game has evolved into, and something truly special where it's just insane, man. It's insane, like how the updated graphics make everything look a little bit more realistic. And you feel like you're in this living, breathing world. And then you get some of the PS5 updates with the content in there. And so, like, everything has like some new details to find out, discover. So I haven't gone deep into the Echoes update yet. So I've checked out some of the stuff, but I want to find out what it's like using that staff in VR and some other things, exploring some of that new content. There's going to be, of course, I think there's going to be a new drop for some things next week. I think the new expedition starts, so I cannot wait, man. For those who are, since my video got corrupted, let me just say, I want to tell you my recommendation for starting out in this game here. If you know, you can't wait for the video, I got to give you something, because I hear people saying, you know, still asking how to get started or what they recommend. I've heard some people say they recommend starting with the expeditions. I honestly disagree with that. Maybe something works for everyone else. I highly recommend you start the normal game on normal. And the first thing you need to do is just follow everything, all the instructions it gives you. It gives you nice, new, detailed instructions. It's got pictures. It's telling you exactly what to do. It never goes away in the bottom right. And you follow that until you get to the space anomaly. That is what I recommend doing. If you want to explore a little bit, enjoy the landscapes that you start out on. If you happen to start on a cool one, so be it. Don't get too lost though. But look, you'll have to repair your multi-tool. You'll have to repair your ship. You'll have to build a very minimal base, a very minimalistic base. And it'll take you through some of that stuff. And then when you get to the space anomaly, that's where things really open up and it makes things easier. So that's what I recommend you do. If you're new to the game, just start it on normal and follow the main story on the bottom right. For those who haven't just started, for those who are a little bit more seasoned veterans, what you need to do is you need to go check out the new pirate ship freighters. I've got some footage here, and I'm going to full screen this, because, oh my God, it is amazing. The new pirate ship updates now have you able to take down big pirate freighters or whatever. And they basically copied and pasted everything from Star Wars Squadrons. Everyone out there clamoring for Star Wars Squadrons, you have it now in No Man's Sky. It might take you some time to get to this point, but you at least have a fully blown version of it. Let's go ahead and roll some of the footage here. Bam. I want to full screen this so you can see it all nice. But this is what it looks like now when you warp into a freighter battle. You warp in. I just saw these lasers and I looked over and I was like, holy crap. Now what you can't see here is how freaking huge, how massive that freighter is. Taking down a nice civilian freighter too. This was so cool. This was my first time checking this out. So I'm kind of just like scoping the area. I'm looking at this thing in just amazement. By the way, it looks incredible in VR. It's nice and clear. I know there's like some little special effects here and there that have a bug where they look a little blurry. That is not the case here. This shit looks amazing. And so I tried firing at its things. There is a strategic element to taking down this pirate freighter. There is kind of like a method to it, similar to like how you would in Star Wars Squadrons, like I said. And I get to it here, but man, I got to do the trench run, which you'll see the trench run in just a second. But you basically have to defend, whenever this happens, you have the chance to defend this civilian ship, freighter from the pirate freighters. I wasn't successful in my first run because I was kind of figuring things out. However, it was all still worth it because I was able to do the trench run. Hopefully the footage pops up here in just a second. But dude, the dreadnought or whatever, the pirate dreadnought, absolutely amazing. And it's so much fun to fight. What I love about No Man's Sky is too, like you can go and do this with friends and stuff and take it down. And I mean, here I'm just like, yeah, I'm just exploring all the stuff it has to offer. I'm running into a turret. It's got turrets to take out. You got to basically take out the shields, take out the engines, take out the turrets, and then just shoot it all to hell, and it'll eventually blow up. But here's where I think I first discovered the turret right here. So I'm gonna get my first turret, and also I didn't have my ship stuff reinstalled. Here we go. You guys ready for the trench run? This is what it looks like in VR. Behold the amazement, dude. Look at this. I mean, look at this. That all looks incredible in the headset, mind you. It looks absolutely insane, and it is so cool to do. If I had my other guns installed, I'd be flipping through all my different weapons and using them. But Game Cat Chicago, thank you so much for the donation, my friend. All he says is hell yeah. Can I get a hell yeah? Hell yeah, indeed, man, because this was the coolest shit ever. And the fact that this is the subtle things that Hello Games keeps introducing, that every time, dude, we're gonna have this game for another 5 years, man, because every time they do something like this, one of these content drops, you get another 50 to 100 hours at least out of it in content. And like, I could spend so much time just going through here and taking these down. Also, you get to blow this sucker up. So once you take it down completely, you then get to watch the glorious explosion. I didn't capture, unfortunately, the best angle of it blowing up. But I did catch some of it, and it was awesome. It should pop up here in just a second, I think. It was amazing, though. But guys, so I cannot wait to explore more of this update. And like I said, I'm still working on tons of videos. You got to give me time. Oh, here we go. I think it's still got a bit of health, so I might not get to show you it blowing up like I wanted to. Because I'm just kind of like figuring things out still and slowly taking it down. But holy shit, man, that trench run was sweet, and I can't wait to do it again. And right after this show, I'm going to go back to playing and recording and making my guides and stuff. Like I said, just bear with me. It takes a long time, but it's amazing. It's funny, actually. So Alexander Aquendo, what is up, guys? By the way, this is interactive chat, of course. What is up, Blue Jew, the Underground Game Cat, Emily Baxter, Hart, the Cartoony Witch Game Kitten, Nihilus Ryan, my metal feline friend, 12, the backlogged Game Cat, Sergeant Frosty, all of yous. Oh man, this is so cool. But anyways, guys, Alexander says I hate flying No Man's Sky with the controls. I'd like to use my DualSense controller. I know some people, that's basically people's last big complaint about No Man's Sky, is they don't like using the in-game HOTAS. I did find like my optimal settings for it, but I don't know if that's going to be for everybody, especially I know it's got a bit of a learning curve. Am I the only one that really likes the in-game HOTAS? Like I actually really, really prefer it and cannot imagine playing another way. And I feel like I'm on an island alone on this one. That being said, I would like Hello Games, if they were to do another update, they need to put in an option for using the joysticks. They absolutely need to, for those that don't want to use it, because there's just so many people that just don't like it. So I don't know. Options are the way to go. Oh shit, I'm about to blow this sucker up. So like I said, I don't get the best shot of it, but I look right in time. It's got just a little bit of health left. Once you take out the shields, you can I turned off the HUD. I love turning off the HUD for more immersion. Here we go. Nice immersive shot for you guys. Where I'm just blasting it, recharging my shields. Here we go, and it's about to explode. It looks so good in VR. Some of the explosions in this shot, you kind of see, oh, there it goes. Those explosions look so good in VR. Now, those right there, you kind of see like the flat looking images, but trust me, it still looked badass. And then this thing is huge and in pieces and just like this horrible noise. It makes this like awful, really eerie noise, like you just killed 10,000 people on this ship, which you probably did. But you know what? They had it coming. Filthy space pirates. Amazing though, man. Amazing. I can't wait to get more into this update and try some more. So had to get that off my chest because I am absolutely obsessed with No Man's Sky. And like I said, I think this, like I said before, this update really brought this game into like top 3 territory for me. I mean, I could find ways to argue for it to be number 1. But I understand that No Man's Sky is not for everybody. It's okay. You can't be right all the time. Oh, you got to grab No Man's Sky though. All right, so we have some news to get into, guys. Some really exciting stuff. Don't go away, sci-fi fans, just yet, because Journey to Foundation, rather, we got some exciting news. This game is going to be playable at PAX West starting tomorrow. So keep your eyes peeled and your ears open, because tomorrow we may actually start to hear some first impressions about Journey to Foundation, which is based off the Isaac Asimov series, book series. And this game looks really promising. I'm really hoping it's very good, because it has the potential to be. Archaeact they've got kind of like a up and down record. But something like this, I feel like has a good chance of being good. So I'm really, really excited to check this one out. I just feel like in terms of immersive sci-fi storytelling, if it's got the graphics, if it's got the gameplay, the mechanics and everything, they seem really passionate about this game. So it'll be really interesting to hear some first impressions, and hopefully we'll get to see some more gameplay, because this one looks promising. I'm hoping we get a release date sometime soon as well. I think all we know at this time is that it's 2023, but yeah, man. So Journey to Foundation, possible first impressions stuff very, very soon from some demo going on at PAX West tomorrow. We also got a brand new update today for one of PSVR2's biggest hidden gems, and that is the Light Brigade, baby. Let's go. They've just dropped the Memories of War update, which adds a bunch of new content to the game, and let's go ahead and check it out. There's a bunch of little new features. Actually, it's a pretty big update, but it's a big update with a bunch of little things and some bigger things. But let's break down what it's going to feature here as the gameplay rolls to the right. Did y'all pick up Light Brigade? We got any Light Brigade fans in the house? Because I am a huge fan, in case you didn't know. This game is so good. So good, like I said. So they've got two new playable classes, the Breacher and the Engineer, the new Winchester 1897 shotgun, and a new MP35 SMG. There's a new pilotable drone companion, which will be interesting. Tons of new discoverable tactical items, from defense helmets to boost syringe that make you stronger. Canteens to recharge your health multiple times, flare guns, a cigar, which is just like for fun. This is the interesting part, though. New handcrafted battlegrounds and areas. So this is what interests me the most, because when it comes to seeing new content for the Light Brigade, I'd like to see some new areas, maybe some new enemy types. But yeah, this game is fantastic. I'm glad that this update is here, and I can't wait to check it out. If I would have had more time before the show, I definitely would have. But again, I'm a little overwhelmed right now, guys. I'm a little overwhelmed. I've got review keys of games I haven't even touched yet for some upcoming games. I'm trying to get this No Man's Sky stuff done. I've been squeezing in Crossfire Sierra Squad, which I'm going to review for you today. And yeah, I just don't have time right now to check this out, but I can't wait, because I needed a good reason to jump back in, and yeah, I can't wait to see these new special areas in particular. I hope they look really cool. So in other news, we got our first, well, real quick, before we get to the next announcement, Spooky Yuki says, I got Light Brigade, but haven't been able to get too far yet. I got really far in my first run, but yeah, man, it's I still haven't like technically beat it yet, because I haven't beaten the final boss, but I've been grinding the Sun Run missions, which is like off to the left, and that is awesome. That's an awesome way to play. Yes, we do need Awesome Tatum. We need 2 or 3 AJs. I mean, that'd be terrifying, but at least more shit would get done. I wish we all could just have a clone of ourselves. Wouldn't that be amazing? And we'd also solve the population crisis. We wouldn't have to breed all the time to keep the population alive. It'd be so much better. That's all I'm saying. Anyways, I'd have a band. I'd have a full-time YouTube channel. I'd have a me that actually works and pays the bills. I wouldn't want to be that one. Screw that guy. Let's see here. Emily Baxter says, be honest, you're just playing What the Bat too much. No, you couldn't pay me to play that game anymore. All right. Unruly Cat says, Vampire Masquerade previews looking good too. Well, my friend, that actually is our next story because we got our first game announced for November, I believe, at least first significant game that I know of. And that is, in fact, Vampire the Masquerade Justice by Fast Travel Games. And they released their first new look at gameplay, and their first pre-order trailer is what they call it. Well, here's the thing, guys. First of all, never pre-order. Do not pre-order anything. I don't care if it's going to be good or not. Stop pre-ordering stuff, because lately it's just been a way to get sales off of half-finished games. Not every case, of course. Stuff like Synapse turned out good. But other than Synapse, what else turned out good? Not many. So I don't recommend pre-ordering it, although I might pre-order Hellsweeper, which could be a train wreck. But hey, if it sucks for me, at least I can tell you guys it sucks, which is nice. But Vampire the Masquerade looks pretty cool. All jokes aside, I'm actually really hopeful about this one. To me, it looks like it could be Fast Travel Games' best game yet. I love that it's set in this like vampiric universe, or the vampire universe or whatever, and it's looking pretty good, man. And it supposedly has some RPG elements. There's actually a little bit of info they provided here. They gave us some deets on the vampiric disciplines that you'll be able to hunt and remain hidden from society's gaze. Disciplines can be purchased in-game via XP, not microtransactions, thank God, allowing players to customize their playstyle further. Disciplines include Cloak of Shadows, where you can sneak up on enemies, blend into the environment, and turn almost invisible. Very vampire-like. Cauldron of Blood, a powerful but noisy attack. Boil the blood of victims until their messy end. Very painful, very likely lethal. What do you mean very likely? Y'all know. Y'all made the game if it's lethal or not. That sounds cool. And the Shadow Trap, which is you can place a portal to the underworld on the ground, then close it on victims, dragging them into the oblivion. I mean, it sounds kind of cool, man. I'm not going to lie here. This is sounding pretty promising. I really just hope it all comes together and Fast Travel just makes a good game, because they do some things really right, and then they get some other things wrong, and they just never balance it all and just make like a good all-around game. I'd rather them have a good all-around game that's, doesn't do anything particularly spectacular. If it just does everything well, good enough. I'd be happy with that. So, Nihilus Ryan, the game metal feline, says, got Garden of the Sea last night for $10 on sale, and I gotta say it gives me Winds and Leaves vibes, which is good. Basically the same gameplay. Interesting. I was going to go through the sale today. There's a couple games on sale. Garden of the Sea, $10 is not like a big risk to take on that game. I think it's a launch for like 25 or 30. So if you're in the mood for something a little bit more lighthearted, perhaps. I still say drop the extra money, go buy, something, a banger of a title. But like I said, maybe it's something, maybe you just need to chill out and stuff. You know what else? Game you can chill out in, right? Right? It's very chill. Let's see here. Time to Play says, why aren't there more epic VR games like No Man's Sky? Well, my friend, because that is a once in a lifetime kind kind of thing. I mean, No Man's Sky is legendary status at this point. Interloper. But anyways, guys, like I said, I want to get back to No Man's Sky. So we got to blast through this news. Thank you, Nihilus Ryan, for the support and for the donation. Thank you guys all as well. Game Cat Chicago 2. Appreciate the support, man. It does help a lot, especially when I pre-order Firewall, not because I wanted to, but just because I kind of have to cover it for you guys. And yeah, that sucks. $60 wasted. Just lit it on fire. It'll get used one day. But I would have rather have had that $60 in my pocket right now until the game is ready. Anywho, all right. So we got an update to C-Smash VR, which is the Sega-based arcade kind of racquetball game. I haven't been terribly interested in this game. I mean, honestly, I am interested in it. I just haven't played it a bunch, much at all, which is frustrating because there are some things I like about this game. And I really want to give it the time of day that it deserves. But they've announced this new massive update, which is coming September 14th, it looks like. The biggest thing here, so it talks about like the infinity mode. They've got new blocks, dozens of new levels with a stage select. They're adding 36 brand new stages to the journey mode for a total of 140 stages. That's a lot. You'll be able to play each stage on demand too with the stage select, instant replays, Uncle Reconstruction. There's a British music legend, I guess Uncle, who does the music now. A music player. To celebrate our expanding soundtrack, we are adding a music player now playing track. So it's a music player that will only probably play their own music. So yeah. UI stats, improved physics. The big thing here for me, guys, is actually the infinity mode, and in particular, the infinity mode with co-op. Co-op is something that very much interests me in this game. So I hope that is pretty good because I would like to try out the co-op and check that out. That would be my ideal way to play this game. I'm very much a co-op person and more than PvP. I just find it a lot more fun to play with friends and helping each other versus against each other. But, you know, to each their own. Sometimes I like PvP as well. But yeah, man, so we'll hopefully, I don't know, man, September's starting to look crazy stacked. So September 14th. Speaking of September looking stacked, we also got the announcement of Paper Beast Enhanced Edition. Now, this is an interesting one. I actually have a review for the PSVR version of this game. This is from the mind of Eric Chahi and his team. I think they're called Pixel Reef. And this is a remaster of the PSVR 1 game. It's basically an exploration puzzle thing where you explore this paper mache wildlife world. It's pretty cool. It did some really, really good things. I did like the visuals of it, and I really liked the physics of it. I think as a game, I don't know if it was the pacing or the interaction I wasn't too crazy about, but it was cool to experience. And luckily there's only, now it says Eric Chahi, the creator of Another World. I want Another World VR. That's what I want. Thank you, Virtual Slayer Cat, Double M Gaming, Flame Hat, Fire, Fire, Fire. What is up, guys? Red Sea, what is up? All of you, it's good to see you. The big question on everyone's mind here is, of course, does this game have full locomotion? Right there where it shows, it seems like there's like one or two clips in this trailer where it seems like it could. They do mention the game being enhanced in terms of graphics, but also in terms of immersion. And I don't know, that's a very broad statement. So who knows? That other shot right there was where it seems. If they add full locomotion to this, it's confirmed, says Flame Hat. So we do have official confirmation, apparently, allegedly, that they confirmed it with Push Square. Okay, thank you, Push Square. Yeah, that's a big deal because that was the biggest immersion breaker for me in this game, was that it didn't have full locomotion and smooth turning. So thank God for that. Yeah, man. I mean, $5 upgrade. Hopefully most of y'all pick this up for free during the Days of Play initiative and then just have to drop a $5, and it will absolutely be worth your time and money in that case. So if so, also the sandbox mode, even though I didn't play it a whole bunch, I really liked messing around with the physics-based sandbox mode where you could just destroy stuff, create like a billion things going on. It was pretty cool. I did watch the breaking news Daringly Average Game Cat. I think I just skimmed through it though. I think I skipped over the Paper Beast stuff. But yeah, man, so Paper Beast coming September 27th. That is late. That is right after Hellsweeper, man. Ooh. Oh God. Yeah, Hellsweeper. Yeah, I don't know, man. So this might be another, we'll see. Might get put on the back burner. But I'm going to definitely be playing Hellsweeper around this time, so it might be a minute. All right. So in other news, I don't have a trailer for this because it won't let me download the trailer, but got to give a quick shout out to Alvo. Now, I've been kind of down on Alvo because I was definitely left a little underwhelmed with the PSVR 1 version, although they did some updates that did help it a bit. It never hit its full potential. They did release a new Alvo trailer and a new release date. I think it's also coming in September. So just got to give a quick shout out to them. Hopefully I get to check out the beta or something. Apparently I have a beta key, which I didn't even know. So I will check that out and give you guys some impressions as soon as I can. Sorry, I'm not running any footage for it right now, but I don't have any. So Imzade, good morning. Hello. No Man's Sky does look good. It looks very good. Like, oh my God, good. It's incredible. I can literally, like Aceville always says, you can just sit there and do nothing for a straight hour and still have an amazing time in No Man's Sky. It's going to be hard to stop talking about it because it's so amazing. And it's the best thing going on with PSVR2 right now. Absolutely. Not even close. But it's not the only awesome thing going on with PSVR2 right now, because Crossfire Sierra Squad released Tuesday? Yes, I think it was Tuesday. Now this footage is some footage of me and I think Brian playing. It's going to take a minute to get going, but once it gets going, it will. So I've been trying to do a written review on Patreon. However, I wanted to spend more time with it because there's basically the realism mode of this, and you have to basically beat the campaign. So I wanted to beat the campaign first, get a feel for realism mode before I did a review on this. Now I've gotten to check it out. So Crossfire Sierra Squad released on Tuesday for $29.99, and it is an arcade action shooter that has some similarities. Oh my God, what is with that click turning? I'm glad I got that fixed. And it's been funny to kind of watch. Actually, it's not funny. It's kind of sad to watch some people saying, you know, the game was misleading, that they didn't go by the trailers. Well, I don't know. You know, it's been going by the trailer alone. I can understand, maybe to, you know, consumers that don't keep up with every PS blog post. I mean, this is another example of the PS blog post failing miserably. But for those of us, most likely many of you, we were well informed. We read all the news on it. We read everything about it. We knew what to expect. And we knew that it was going to be an arcade shooter. And man, let me say, I have thoroughly enjoyed this arcade shooter. It might be the best arcade shooter on VR, or best co-op shooter on PSVR 2. It is very, very good. We'll start with the graphics. And like I said, graphically, this game looks really nice. This game, I would say, has a very high budget, which is very, very refreshing. There's a lot of, I love my indie games. I love the games, the studios of like 1 or 2 people that come out and they do their best. They make a quality game, but you can see sometimes it's lacking. I mean, in special effects, lacking in like cinematic cutscenes, things like that. This game, first and foremost, what I love about it is how much of a budget it has. Yes, I'm greedy. This game has a very, very high budget, and it is very apparent from the amount of content in it, from the variety in it, and just from the production values of it. Now, it's not, let's say, it doesn't necessarily go to like blood and truth lengths of cinematic experience where there's like these certain scenes that are supposed to be like you're in a movie. It's not that. It is still very grounded in an arcade game. But that being said, it is very, very polished. And there's a lot of people, there's a lot of comments that I saw about this game. People saying like, oh, this janky whatever fest. Dude, that is a straight up lie. If you see anybody saying that this game is janky, that is a straight lie. What these people have done is they went and they watched the PSVR reviews, which at launch, before it got patched within a few hours, it had some technical issues and stuff. And then these people said, oh, this game's just a whatever jank fest, blah, blah, blah. They're just straight up reading like one commenter and whatever. So I'm calling y'all out. Y'all liars. Y'all ain't played shit, because if you've played this game, you will know that it's actually extremely smooth to play. Like, this game is very, very smooth. And that's one thing I think is going to bode well for it, is it's just a very easy game to pick up and play and start shooting. And we've done a lot of comparisons to this game towards Time Crisis. When I was playing it, it was a little unexpected. I mean, I knew it was an arcade game, but to me, this game is very much like Time Crisis plus G.I. Joe. That's how I describe the vibe of this game. It is super action packed. This shooting range here is actually pretty cool to mess around with. There are loads of weapons. Now, lots of games advertise as, oh, so many different variety of weapons, blah, blah, blah. This game's gunplay is excellent, and there's tons of really good guns that feel different. It's got good use of haptics. There's aiming down scopes, which they've provided like a kind of like auto scope thing. When you hold the gun up, it'll automatically click to your like shoulder or whatever, and then when you put your eye up to the scope, it will actually zoom in and do like a little zoom assist thing for you. But the gunplay in this game is awesome, and there's loads of guns that feel way, way different, and that's something that I think it needs to get a little bit of praise for, because not a lot of games, they always say like, well, there's a variety of this, variety of that, but it's never actually as good as advertised. So the guns are amazing in this game. I don't know. This is terrible footage, by the way. I'm so sorry. I didn't get to edit any of this footage. I don't know why it's like this. I'm just adjusting some settings and stuff, but I promise you, we're about to get started in some gameplay here. Just focus on me for now. Don't look over this way. Don't look over here just yet. Look over this way. But anyways, yeah, extremely polished game. And the resolution is pretty sharp. The textures and stuff, it's a little it's a little like here and there. I mean, the production values, it's got some really, really nice production values. This shooting range, like I was going to say, has these statues that you can, practice on. And when you shoot them, the particles like burst like everywhere. They kind of crumble apart, and it looks really, really good. So just from a first like impression standpoint, I was like, okay, this has got some money in it. This has got some quality in it. This is nice. But of course, the important part is the game. There are, I think, 13 main solo missions that you can play. And it took me about 2.5 to maybe 3 hours to beat the first time. It starts out a little slow, starts out kind of like a wave shooter. And I was like, oh no, this isn't just a wave shooter, is it? Like the wave shooters we dread, where it's like you're standing in one spot. No, it just kind of does that at first to get you used to the mechanics. But it actually, the further you get into the game and the more you play it, it actually opens up a little bit more. You're running from like the beginning of the level to the end of the level. Like I said, some really, really good set pieces. But the absolute strength of this game, I think, is 100% the co-op mode. There is a lot of levels with the co-op mode, and after you beat the story, you unlock the realism mode and can play there. And oh, here's me testing out the sniper rifle. Look at that. Oh, those particle effects. You can't see it the best here, I know, but those particle effects are really nice. And like, I just really admire that, because a lot of games don't have good particle effects, don't have good special effects. So I like how this game has the little thing here. Silver Nexus, thank you so much for the donation, my friend. Appreciate the support, dude. Says, thanks for helping make Thursday suck. Just a little less. Thank you, my friend. Thank you. It says, keep it going, Master AJ of the Game Cat Dojo. You rock, man. Thank you, guys. But Piotrek F says, I struggle to throw grenades. Yeah, I don't know. Like, throwing has always been hard in VR, and I like their throwing more than eye tracking throwing, even if it isn't as precise. But yeah, man, I totally feel you. The throwing is I thought at first, I was like, oh yeah, this is great. And then like the more I tried to use it, like I kind of like would get it right, sometimes get it wrong. So yeah, the throwing's it's not the easiest thing to figure out, but it does feel like it's got a good system in place for you. But anyways, so the co-op missions, man, there's like 50 or 60 co-op squad based missions. Here I am. I'm mostly just in this footage, just messing around with Brian, just goofing off and stuff. And we'll get to some actual playing in just a second. He's got a minigun. We were having a lot of fun. And, but yeah, man, the gameplay is pretty intense. It is very arcade based. You are mowing down like an entire population. Each level, they throw so many goddamn enemies at you, that you feel like you're destroying an entire population of people. This game is very much like Time Crisis, G.I. Joe, Rambo, and it is basically the Bravo team game we deserved. It was funny because I was telling Brian, I was like, this game is kind of like Time Crisis. He was like, oh, I say that it's like Time Crisis in my review, and we're playing some more, and I'm like, this game is kind of like the Bravo team we deserve. And he's like, oh, this game, he's like, I say that in my review. So we're definitely on the same page when it came to this game. One thing I will say is like, I feel like this game is actually the story mode, even though it doesn't go as in depth or as, like I said, featuring some of these cinematic things that you would see in Call of Duty or Blood and Truth. I do feel like the campaign, the single player campaign, is structured a bit like Call of Duty. Like, it did remind me of these mission based things where you're kind of going down like different, pretty much corridors and stuff, and there's events taking place, and you're taking out enemies along the way, and just loads and loads of action. And I do love how they have stuff like the LAVs, which are like these big giant tanks or like vehicles that you can take down. There's helicopters that come in. There's these dudes that drop down. It's the dudes from the trailers. They look really cool. They're obviously from the original IP. They must be like some bad guy, but I love it when a game makes a bad guy look really cool. Because there's these guys, these big hulking dudes that drop down, and they have these like melee weapons, and you can actually have like a shield that you can pick up, and if they try to melee you and you block it, you just go flying backwards. It's cool that you can actually block it like that. And like I said, there's just all these little nuanced things that are pretty sweet here, that I really, really liked. This is, of course, finally starting to get into some gameplay. This is the squad-based mode. I think we're playing on hard, so we might get our... yeah, we got our ass kicked here, I think. First time checking it out. But it was pretty sweet, man. And, dude, I just think for $30, you get a really, really big game, like hours and hours of content. You get, I mean, saying Time Crisis in VR with like the evolution of Time Crisis in VR almost doesn't do it justice, because there's a lot more content than you would find in a typical arcade game here. But I think the price point is very, very good. You get a very polished game. It's really fun with a friend, and the team-based, the squad-based co-op is definitely the highlight here. Although I did enjoy the single-player story, the team-based thing is definitely where it's at, because you also earn the points to be able to unlock a variety of different weapons that you can choose and start with here. But yeah, man, this game overall kicks ass. So I don't know. Hopefully it does pretty well, but you know, I think we got what was advertised for the most part. I mean, at least, you know, I can understand if you know nothing and you just see the trailer, I can understand it looking a little bit different. And I will say that, you know, the realism mode, I do think I would have liked that unlockable from the start. Because I would have liked to just experience the game the first way. That being said, playing on hard and playing on normal plus, I actually did still enjoy it. So, but man, the action is crazy. It's always playing like some crazy metal music. It's just so over the top. The dialogue is like super cheesy, but you know, it's just, I don't play this game for the dialogue. I play it for the action shooting stuff, which was really, really good. And like I said, I think one of the biggest surprise to me, like I said, is the variety here. There's weapons where there's like a level where you're in the snow and you have these scopes that have like infrared. And so you're aiming down the scope and all you see is like just the silhouette, this like white silhouette. It doesn't do like the red infrared, but it does like a white silhouette. And that was a nice surprise. It does a good job of mixing things up here. Oh man, here we go. I missed with that because I grabbed the rocket launcher with my left hand, so I actually messed up here. Again, this is totally noob footage. I hit it there. I love that it has all this stuff. A little bit of the realism mode offers a little bit more strategy and like, you know, and definitely like caution going around, but there's just all these little things, man. Really great gameplay, gunplay. Love that there's full locomotion. Love that, you know, this game is much better than Crisis Brigade. I really liked Crisis Brigade, but again, this is like the next level of it, man. And I'm quite frankly, I'm surprised we don't have more games of this quality. This is a game that I feel like would be fun if it was not in VR. And so to have something like this in VR, like, you know, this meets all of the standards that we should come to expect, and it's priced perfectly. It's got loads of content. It's really polished, and yeah, man, it is a sick game. My score for this game, if you have any questions, let me know. But my score for this game, I'm going to give an 8.3. 8.3 is the official Underground score. I would probably go all the way up to 8.5. But 8.3 is a great score. I think it's an excellent game. I think I highly recommend it. I absolutely highly recommend it. If you want a good shooter, I mean, this is half the price of what I paid for Firewall, and it's twice as fun so far and not broken. Pietrek F says I'm getting 7 out of 10, but I'm really enjoying it. Steve Irie says 8.3 is very specific. Yeah, it's like I said, man, it's very, very good. It's not a mind-blowing game. Like it won't blow your mind unless you're just brand new to VR. It might. If you're a seasoned VR vet, though, it won't blow your mind. You'll just have lots of fun playing it and really, really enjoy it, most likely. So that's what it is. Nihilist Ryan, my feline metal friend, says, I have a question, AJ. This or Synapse should I buy this weekend? So I've had a quite a bit of change of heart on Synapse. It's, you know, again, like I have my criticisms of that game, but I kind of came around, and what I had to do was kind of combined my preview gameplay with my full experience gameplay. I would rate Synapse slightly higher than this. Not much, but they're around the same area for me. I think I'd give Synapse like an 8.5 if this is like an 8.3. And it's really just because it's a little bit more unique in its design and its style. The telekinesis in Synapse is amazing. Synapse is awesome. And I do think it is one of the best PSVR2 games out there. This game is definitely like top 15 territory for me. So I kind of place them, they're kind of near each other. I think this game has like, it also kind of comes down to what you prefer, like personal preference. This obviously has a lot more variety. This has way more weapons, way more enemy variety, way more enemy type. Yeah, man, I'm like, it's tough. Like off the top of my head, because of the uniqueness that Synapse has and stuff, the experience of it. But as a game, just a game-ass game, I'd probably actually give this the edge because of the depth of it. It has a lot of depth to it. It's like an arcade game with shit tons of depth. And I think that's worth something. And like I said, it's also very polished. Both games, both Synapse and this are really polished. If you want something you'll get more hours out of, probably this one. But yeah, it's a little tough because this is a roguelike. I mean, that's a roguelike. This is like an arcade with like 3 different modes. I didn't even touch on the Horde mode, which the Horde mode is basically your basic generic kind of Horde mode shooter. It's nothing super special, except I love that it has leaderboards with it. And I love that we're probably knocked off now, but I know that like Miles West and Brian and I, we had the top spot from the review things. We got to like wave 20, I think wave 19, I want to say, and it gets brutal. So, yes, I would rate this a polished Paul out of 10. Absolutely. I miss Polish Paul. I haven't talked to him in a while. Miss the village. Multi-Mighty Game Cat says, wait, will this get a physical release? Probably not anytime soon. But man, like I said, I think what I love about this game a lot is just how much money the studio has. And they are very talented developers as well. But I love how much, clearly how much money went into the game. This game feels expensive as frack. It is a very polished, for an arcade game, it is very, very high budget. This does not feel like an indie studio game, where it has like these limitations to it. No, it's like they definitely opened up their piggy bank and made this one happen. And yeah, man, I absolutely love this game. It's super great. Highly recommend if you're curious, if you're interested in checking it out. Worth more than what it's worth, what it costs, or at least about the same. Fairly priced and super polished. Dude, these sniping mechanics are so good. The sniping is excellent in this. Ian Johnson says, what's your weapon control settings? I don't use that. I just use the basic, I think. I don't know. I don't use the auxiliary thing. I don't like aiming with my offhand. I like aiming with my regular hand. So I don't use the auxiliary thing. I did turn the sensitivity down, the grab sensitivity down like a little bit. But yeah, man. So I love the enemy types in this. The AI is mostly good. There's moments where the AI can be a little dumb, but I think like small little instances out of several hours. I mean, this is like at least a 10+ hour game. If you want to do everything in it, like you can get like over 10 hours of it. This game is 100%, like Dan Keeper says, Beanie approved. This game kicks ass, man. And anybody trash talking it hasn't played it. Except I know there's some exceptions. They either haven't played it or they for some reason thought it was going to be a different game. I mean, I don't know. They only saw the trailer apparently after they marketed this game for like months and explained what it was and everything. So, and then I have a suspicion that there's just, yeah, most of the bad reviews and stuff I see on this are either just like misguided or ill-willed or misinformed or just, I don't know, man. It's a weird one. Yeah, I mean, just unfortunately, people of this day and age just like to hate on stuff. And there's also, unfortunately, the Pavlov audience, which I love Pavlov, but y'all Pavlov lovers that are shitting on this game are making Pavlov look bad. So stop it, man. Stop it. This isn't even the same type of game. Oh, I should touch on the hybrid reload system. So Firewall has a button reload system, which I do not like. It didn't like completely break the game like I thought it would. This game does it right, man. This game has an actually good hybrid system where you're at least doing some kind of motion. It's not all involved like Pavlov is, or like some of the other games where it's completely manual reload, where you got to grab the clip, take it out, you got to put the clip back in and cock it and everything. No, it's just, you just grab ammo from your hip or something and you pop it in and then you shoot. And I actually think that this is how to do a hybrid reload system. I think this eliminates a lot of the hassle for a lot of the people that don't like the manual reloading, and I think it also it feels immersive enough for me. It is immersive in like an arcadey kind of way. You remember like how you would, if you're playing a light gun game in the arcade, you like, well, sometimes they would just shoot off screen, but also other times you'd have to bring the gun to your hip to reload. This is like that in a way. It feels good. It's better than a button reload, for sure. But Shades of Grey Matter says it was pretty clear what this game was going for to me. Wes also did a great job of giving us a heads up when he played it a month or two ago, for sure. It did end up feeling more arcadey than I expected, because this is the big difference here, is what they. And I do kind of wish that you could turn this option off, regardless of difficulty. But when you actually start the main game, there's like there's hit markers when you shoot stuff. There's like a red X that shows you've hit it, and there's also like health bars and stuff. Yeah, like I wouldn't mind an option just to turn that off. That would be nice. So, like I said, there are little tiny criticisms I have here and there. Not everything is picture perfect. There's like these levels where it seems like there's areas that you can run to and explore, and instead you kind of, it like blocks you off, and it says there's like an invisible wall and it says you can't go here. I would have liked to be able to like utilize the whole level and the whole area in some places. It just didn't feel natural. Like I'm going to run for cover and it's like, no, you can't go here. That's probably my biggest complaint, is that there's just these invisible walls here and there where you want to run to a spot and you can't go there because it's trying to keep you. It's obviously by design, but it kind of breaks the immersion. It breaks the freedom a little bit, and it's not like horrible, but it was one of my gripes, I would say. Melkaya, the soul reaving game cat. What is up, dude? I think I haven't had a chance to respond to your PS message either. I was going to earlier and then I got busy. Says, does realism mode have hit markers and health bars? No, that mode takes those out. That's part of the realism mode, is that the hit markers are gone. The health bars and everything are gone. It just, you know, it's a little bit more immersive. As somebody that likes to turn the HUD off in games, it is definitely important. But the other thing is, like, enemies go down a lot faster. You do as well. So you only get like, you only get hit like a couple times and you go down. And then for enemies, yeah, you shoot them twice, pretty much once or twice, and they're dead. So it's pretty sweet. Chaos dropping some kind of PSN code, it looks like, in the chat. What is that, Chaos? What is that? Dropping codes in the chat. Thank you, man, for your generosity to my fellow awesome peoples here, man. But what is it? Waleed is a game cat, specifically a game tiger. What is up, dude? Thank you for the support. Thank you for the donation, my friend. Says, why gun holding in Firewall and Crossfire not as comfortable as Pavlov? I feel as if my gun is pulling down against my will, unlike one-to-one tracking in Pavlov. I haven't had that issue where a gun is feeling like it's pulling down. Actually, playing this game is very, very smooth. So Pavlov, if anything, feels to me more, I would say almost more clunky, because if you don't know what you're doing, you have to like learn how to use all the guns first. This, you don't have to use all the guns. And then when you aim, you maybe can just maybe have to adjust some settings, Waleed, or maybe redo your sensitivity, stuff like that. But this game is definitely one-to-one tracking, really good stuff. So I think maybe once, there was one time, but it was my setup that had the issue. I restarted my PS5. Like there was one time where I was having like I was trying to aim and it felt weird, but I just restarted my PS5, and so I thought that was just my setup, really. But hell yeah, man, you're very welcome. Waleed says Firewall and Crossfire need to toggle grip at least. Again, this game has like a sensitivity to where you can place your hand up towards a rifle and it will automatically snap onto it. And if it's too sensitive to where it never lets go of the controller, you can turn that sensitivity down a little bit, which is what I did, because I felt like I was moving my hand away from the gun and it was still attached to the gun. I turned that sensitivity bar down, and then whenever I moved my hand away from it, my hand would detach from the gun. So, I love Squatsy says, right now I'm about to buy Green Hell VR. You think it's good? Listen, do not buy Green Hell VR yet. Do not buy it. No. Wait for the patches. There's an update coming to Green Hell VR. And it's going to be 10 times better once they get it. So wait for the patch. Again, unfortunately, there's a lot of games coming out that are buggy, broken messes. And it's better to just kind of hold off. Wait for reviews. Do not pre-order. Wait for reviews. Wait for at least... If a game gives like some first impressions where they let people like at PAX or something and people saying it's good, they're playing it, then at least you got something to go by. But yeah, man, wait for reviews in general. Speaking of buggy broken games, GC13 is here. Hey, good to see you. Thank you for joining and hanging out. And you know I love you. I kid. I guess we'll never know what that mystery code was, but thank you, Chaos, for dropping that mystery code. But yeah, man, loved Crossfire Sierra Squad. Any complaint I have, Like literally, I could just go on listing tons of great things about this game. Like I said, from the budget that it has, clearly, to the enemy variety, to the weapon variety and the haptics in them, the different attachments you can put on them. There's tons of different, like, good level variety as well. I don't know if I said that already, maybe. But let's see here. As for gripes, you know, it's kind of cheesy and stuff, which I don't really care about. Some invisible walls. Some of the last final levels of the story mission, they try to introduce some brand new enemies. And while it was really cool and a nice change up, a nice surprise, they didn't spend like a ton of time polishing up maybe some of the last one or two enemies that you've run into. And so, or last enemy type, I would say. There is a final boss in this game, which is cool, and it's a pretty epic battle. But yeah, some of the ending feels a little bit rougher in the story campaign, but yeah, what was that? Alguno says, "Hey guys, do the squad missions require to matchmake, or can they be played with AI? This wasn't clear for me in the Without Parole review." You can play them. They do not require. Oh, I think Markio already said. What up, Markio? The Two Wise Underground Game Cat. Yes, you can play the squad solo with AI. But let me say, it is really fun with peoples though. Although the AI is not bad. AI is not bad. Well, guys, that is it, man, for now. You know, like I said, I've got a lot of work ahead of me. I'm working on lots of No Man's Sky stuff. I'm also trying to play some No Man's Sky too, just to enjoy it. But I'm also working on some videos. I've decided to kind of take my time with these No Man's Sky videos. So yeah, I understand. Like I hate to kind of miss the hype train and everything. But that being said, like I'd rather have a guide that will be good for a long time, like my Zenith guide. You know, I'd like to do something of that quality. So anything I can muster up in the meantime, I certainly will. But yeah, man, I just, there's a lot going on right now. I've got review keys for games I need to try out tonight while doing all this. It's a good problem to have, man. It's a good problem to have when there's so much to play, so much good stuff. Go play No Man's Sky. Go play Crossfire Sierra Squad. Skip Green Hell, skip Firewall for now. Wait for patches. Yeah, man. And there's just an amazing library right now, and I'm loving it. Dude, yeah. Red Sea Gaming says, I've been trying to play Firewall, but inside I've been wanting to play No Man's Sky. Yeah, I mean, Firewall it has some fun elements to it, but it needs some major patches. So it needs like some major fixes. The matchmaking, the progression system, things like that. Unruly Cat, Green Hell VR would be awesome to get the No Man's Sky treatment for sure. It needs a graphics update. It needs some of the rough edges. I mean, No Man's Sky really just needed graphics. That's it. But yeah. Let's see. Alguno says, I actually just checked No Man's Sky, and I gotta say, I've never been so immersed in VR before. It's so cool. Made me put away Baldur's Gate 3, if you can believe that. Nice. I've heard great things about Baldur's Gate. Dude, No Man's Sky is incredibly immersive. It is, like I said, it is like a living, breathing universe that you can just hang out in and whatnot. It is really something else. I sat there just floating in space, looking at a beautiful system with my space whales, looking amazing, better than ever, and they're just sitting there chilling. Oh my God, it's just so ridiculous, man. So I can't wait to get back to it as well and get some cool videos out for you guys. Imzadi, I hope your surgery went okay. You said you just had a major surgery. Get well soon, and I hope you feel better, and I hope your surgery, if you can't play for a few more weeks, well, I hope you feel better and a speedy recovery too, my friend. Cheers. But guys, that is it, man. For now, loads of stuff happening soon, so I can't wait. And yeah, man, we'll be catching up with you guys very soon with some stuffs, and got a lot of stuff in the works. Daringly Average Game Snake says, will we see you Saturday? I don't know about Saturday, but Sunday, guys, I'm probably doing the Game Cat meetup because it is No Man's Sky, and I'm going to get with Nick and see about throwing a freighter party. If you guys want to come kick it on my freighter, then we should all get together and do so. But you might see me Sunday or Monday, because I have Sunday and Monday off. So if I don't do something Saturday, most likely Sunday or Monday. GC13, if you're new to No Man's Sky, well, get to playing. You missed the beginning of the episode, GC, is the truth. Just start it on normal mode and follow the instructions it gives you. That's how I recommend you start playing. Oh, man. But, all right, guys. Well, you have a wonderful night. How many people, Marcus says, how many people can you party on the freighter? I have no idea, man. But we're going to fit as many people as we can on the freighter and party it up. It might be 32 people, man. It might be. And I think we're going to need all that capacity for it. So, but hell yeah, guys. Oh, and by the way, Demio's on sale for like really cheap, for like $20. So I highly recommend Demio as well. If none of the other games we've covered today seem exciting to you or interesting, y'all have a wonderful night. And I will see you again very, very soon. I got work to do, guys. I'm sorry. I don't mean to go. It's a busy, busy time. Next episode will be longer, hopefully. Later, y'all. Have a wonderful night, and I'll see you next week, probably sooner.